I don't know that I did a lot of crowd work, but yeah.
You crowd worked. You made fun of everyone.
I don't want to be known for crowd work anymore. Because everyone is, and I used to be good
Call
at
the
it.
manager. Call our manager.
Yeah, I need to talk.
Tell him to go a different way with our social media. Just call him.
We can't. We're
Get him
going to try
online.
really hard not to talk about stand-up in this, though.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best, even though
We're going to try really hard.
that's what we both do and think about all the time.
I think about other stuff. I think about so much other stuff.
I don't think about anything. Stand up in accounting. That's
Stand
it.
up in accounting?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
not
whole thing.
true.
Yep, stand up in spreadsheets. Anything that starts with an S.
I wish you were that simple, but you're not.
I'm simple. Stand up spreadsheets. Simple.
No, anything with an S. Mm-hmm. Yep. Snakes.
Simple syrup.
You think simple? Oh no, simple syrup does start with an S. I don't know. I was thinking a C.
Are you gonna say? Do you think simple?
I was gonna say,
syrup
do you
starts
think
with
simple syrup starts with an S?
I do. I think it starts with two S's.
It does, yeah. It is going to be really hard to transition into the darkness of our podcast.
The darkness.
The
yes.
darkness of
We
it,
also
yeah.
would like to focus on us as a couple. We have an
Yes.
interesting story. Do you want to start off with our story?
Sure.
Okay.
I always like, so it never, whatever. It never makes either of us sound great the way we met. But what was
No.
your first, I always love the story. What was your first impression of me when you
My
met me?
First impression.
When we met
when we
in
first
2017.
met is I thought that you were very unkempt. You looked very disheveled. You reminded me of a homeless person.
Let's do this again, but start with the good stuff.
Okay.
And then end with that. What the hell? Okay.
You were very funny.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that your stand-up was very funny, but you were not a person that I would have ever been romantically interested in.
Yeah.
Ever. You would have never been on my radar.
Okay. Now ask me the same question.
What did you... Oh, I don't want to.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, what was your first impression of me when you first met me?
She got butt.
That's a lot of people's first impression.
Yeah, that wasn't my first. That honestly wasn't my first
I was about to
impression.
say
of you,
that
yeah.
that can't be like, yeah, that's not specific.
I
to
just
you.
wanted to be really like simple. Like you have like this thought out description of when we met. I'm like, she had a butt.
I just remember you being my husband at the time's friend.
You know,
That
and this is where it just starts to paint a bad picture. But yeah,
Right. Yeah.
was I friends with her husband first? Sure.
I met Ian because he was friends with my husband at the time.
Yes, and I wasn't interested in you, and you weren't interested in me.
No,
So,
we
need to
had
say
no-
that right away.
Yeah, there was the whole time I was
Nothing
married.
happened.
The whole time I was married, you were just this weird guy that came around that made me laugh.
I was okay.
Well, and we always had good times. We always had a good time writing together.
Yeah, we had a good time writing together. And I wasn't in your life for very long.
No,
I wasn't in
it's
your
like
life
in
for
and
very
out,
long.
for sure.
Classic move.
Yeah, it was in and out for sure. It was very like, I saw you for a little while. Oh, we're digging.
Are we throwing out bad vibes for the dog? I'm trying to chill.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
Yeah,
Oh
you got it. You scratched it up good.
my god, your dog's so hard. It's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Dogs are great.
I like when dogs dog really hard and they don't like care. They're just being dogs. They just want that fucking boner, that toy.
Yeah. Do you know dogs that don't do that?
Yeah, dogs that are like my dog Sandy was very cat-like.
Ah,
You know, she
Okay,
grew
I
up
knew
around
that.
a cat, so she would like lick herself like
didn't
a
like
cat.
read. You know, like a cat that like read.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
She
like-
wasn't very
I was
well
like, how
read.
does a dog not dog?
Oh, she doesn't dog at all. I would throw a ball for her to fetch, and she would look at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You're like, "You're gonna have to go get that."
Oh,
We're dogging so good.
did you hear us talking about you? He said, you want to see a dog, huh? Yep,
Oh,
sure.
okay.
All right.
You are too much.
Welcome back to the Dog Podcast.
So hard.
Welcome back to the Dog Podcast.
Your dog's so hard.
Today we have a dog. Oh, hello. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Are you kicking in for this or
Oh, you're the best.
you're the sweetest?
Yeah, we need a dog, man.
All right.
Yeah, Sandy wouldn't dog at all.
Yeah.
She was the worst dog ever. Well, she was the best animal, but she was just really bad at dogging.
Yeah.
You know, my
Cool.
cat was good at dogging.
Your cat was a great dog. R.I.P.
Yeah,
Both your animals.
Both my animals died of diabetes.
Yeah. I'm looking
America,
forward.
am I
I'm
right?
looking forward to being the third thing in your life that dies of diabetes. I look forward to it. And it's not like you're a cook or anything. You don't. You're just.
No,
I don't know
just
how you
ate
played a role in that.
Garbage processed food, and so did they.
Yeah.
I remember people being like, "Oh, you need to buy more expensive dog food for them and make sure that it." And I'm like, "No, they're animals. It's fine." And
Yeah.
then they died of diabetes. And
Then
I was
they
like,
died of diabetes.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying because I used to like believe, everything, like government and stuff. And I'm like, they're not trying to hurt us. They wouldn't feed us rat pellets. And they do.
Yeah.
They do. I was wrong. I don't know if you guys know this, but the government isn't good.
Yeah. No, I did know that. And I have a lot of beliefs and theories that I won't share publicly
Yeah.
about any of that.
Yeah.
We're
I just feel like growing up, I was like, they have our best interest at heart. Like why would they wouldn't feed us bad stuff. And like
Yeah.
they are. That's all we have now is bad stuff.
So anyways, when we met.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think us meeting is that exciting. There's nothing to like really highlight.
Well, so we met and we knew each other for what, a year, if that, 6 months.
Not even.
And then one of us,
I'm not sure who.
I don't
We're
know
not
which
sure
one.
who, but one of us relapsed on meth in the basement and caused a big scene and got kicked out.
Yeah, huge scene.
I can't remember which one of us did
Scared
that.
me quite a bit.
I can't remember who it was.
One of us did that.
It was definitely one of us. And if I'm just going by like the facts of like you were living with your husband and the person who relapsed was alone in the basement,
Yep.
it was me. I did that.
Yeah. So me and my husband at the time kicked you out
Yep.
in the middle of Erie.
Yeah.
Erie,
I remember
Colorado.
he kicked me out and took the car away. And I started like walking towards town, but I was like in the middle of nowhere in Erie. So like I walked for a little bit and then I just called him. I was like, "Hey, can you like take me into town?" Like I don't know why I thought I could walk this far.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
That's a really scary place to walk to. There's lots of 18-wheelers and farm
Yeah.
trucks.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. It was my mom's birthday too. I remember that.
Oof.
Yeah. I was like,
rough.
"Happy birthday, Mom. Everything's going great."
Yeah. So we kicked you out and then I didn't talk to you for probably 2 years.
Years.
Yeah.
We didn't talk for years. And then we started talking again during COVID because a little birdie told me you were a lesbian. A very small bird was like, "Hey, she's a
I
lesbian."
was questioning my sexuality really, really hard back then. I was trying to figure things out for sure.
So that's not why I started talking to you, though. I wasn't like, "She's a lesbian. All right." That wasn't
Right.
it. We all had our experiences during COVID and everything was weird. And I just started talking to people I hadn't talked to in a while. And I talked to our friend Ryan first and I was like, "How's everybody else?" And he was very excited to tell me that you guys weren't together anymore.
Right.
And then a little birdie said, "She's a lesbian." And I was
Right.
like, "All right, what does that matter?" And then we started talking again, but we were friends and I was,
This was right before the world ended with COVID.
what do you mean the world ended?
It was right before I started, my company went remote.
Oh, we did. Yeah. So it was
like,
before that.
It was
yeah.
literally like a month, maybe not even 3 weeks before
Yeah.
everything changed, before the whole COVID thing happened.
That's right. Yeah. So my dad had just passed away.
Yeah.
I was in Texas, and a couple months later, COVID happened, and we started talking, and it was all right.
I think when we first started talking, it was very, just as very friendly, like
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just as friends.
No,
And, like,
totally. I had no intentions. Yeah.
No, I know, not at all. And it was very we were always very creative together.
Yeah. And I remember being excited of like, "Oh, I'm gonna get to do stand up again," because my dad passed away. And I took care of my dad for 9 months in Austin, and like when he passed away, I was like, "Sweet, I can like get back to life." And then COVID happened, and we started talking, and I want to do comedy, and we did like one sketch over Zoom, but it was just like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it was so
It
hard.
wasn't great.
So hard to do.
It wasn't bad, but I was very much still in active addiction, and I was a Bender user.
I would talk to you for a couple of days and we would get this happy rapport and I was really cool, he's doing good, and then I wouldn't hear from you for 2 weeks.
And then I would be gone for 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would come back and I'd be gone. And I did that for the better part of a year. And and then so tell you what, this is all great, but let's highlight you went with a friend to North Carolina, I think, to help her move.
Yep.
And then you were like, "Hey, on the way back, I can come see you in Austin." Or in Texas. I was living in
So
Georgetown.
this was peak COVID times.
Yeah.
And I drove to North Carolina to help my friend move, dropped her stuff off, and I wore 2 masks everywhere I went.
Yeah.
I remember going into gas stations and in the South wearing a mask and people being really belligerent towards me.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember the only thing that I could do to keep people from saying things to me was to cough.
Was
a
your
lot.
swastika tattoo?
I would just start coughing.
Oh.
Yeah, my swastika.
I thought, yeah.
I mean, besides my swastika tattoo.
Yeah, if you're gonna wear 2 masks in the South.
Well, I mean, that might make friends in the South.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Sorry to interject another story. We were in I think Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Mississippi.
The Drunk Lives Matter.
No, I mean I could talk about him, but it'll. Well, now I feel like we have to. But we, gosh, shit. No, I do. Yeah. So, no, I'm not gonna do that. We were leaving the hotel in the morning, and they had no water in the city. It was just weird. And we had to get gas, so we went to the gas station.
I think they're still dealing with that.
And yeah, and it was like out of a movie. We walked into a gas station and like the music stopped and everybody in there just started looking at Mandy's butt. It was just like everybody
Very
started looking.
uncomfortable.
And I was
It
just
was one of those like down south gas stations where everyone hangs out. Like they were like loitering.
yeah, just like sitting on a thing of
Yeah.
12 packs.
And they were all having a conversation and we walked in and it got so quiet.
yeah, they all just started staring at your butt and I was like, yeah, I did good, huh? Uh-huh. But
Yeah, I have a appreciated body shape in certain parts of the South.
certain parts of the South, yeah, I mean, they were just like lasered in.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's funny too, like walking around in a place where there's just like a bunch of thin young college girls. Like nobody's looking at me, nobody gives a shit. And then I walk into a certain area,
And then,
and I'm like, oh, okay.
God,
It makes me feel really pretty.
what is the capital of Mississippi? Because that's where we were. Or no, not Mississippi.
No, we were in
No, we were.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Because from Mississippi, we drove through Louisiana, and then we were back in Texas. And I got pulled over in Louisiana because I was trying so hard to get out of Mississippi.
Yeah, the guy pulled you over with his finger.
He gave me one of these out the window, and he had such a thick Cajun accent. He's like, "Hey, son, you don't tear a pound out." I was like, "Ah."
I was like, just give him money.
I was like,
Let's
"Money?
go.
Is it money?"
Whatever you want.
And he's, I don't know.
I was like, he gonna make you squeal like a pig. You better
I
give
don't
him
know
the
what
fucking
the-
money.
Please don't take me to jail. I'll be good.
That was the quickest ticket. It was just like everybody.
Well,
knew
you see here,
what was
boy,
happening.
it is going from zoom,
He
and
was
then we're
like,
just gonna.
You weren't, yeah, you weren't going crazy fast. This is really stupid that we're doing this, but we need to get money from you.
Yeah,
Like, that's
and they did.
and everybody knew what was going on. Like no one was confused.
It was like a $250 ticket, or I could take this online driving class through Mississippi, which what a fucking oxymoron that was. Or no, this was in Louisiana. And I took the class, and after the fees for the class, it was like $10 cheaper. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have just paid the ticket and got my afternoon back of just watching a video of like, semi over here, you want to go, whoa.
Oh man,
I'm like, how is this a training video?
that guy? I did not understand a word he said.
Oh my God. He was that guy from an Adam Sandler movie, from Joe Dirt, just came up to my window.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I've been driving for 18 hours, dude.
Oh legit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a great time.
Back to me. So I drove to North Carolina to help Bridget move.
I remember that.
And then I hung out with my family for like a week,
I recall.
which was crazy irresponsible, and I could have given.
Oh,
COVID to so many
whatever.
people.
It's your family. Your family's gonna love you into the grave.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I couldn't take not seeing my family. Like it was making me
Right.
crazy because I live so far away. And then I was on the way back. I was going to stop and see him, and then yeah, I was halfway there, and I remember you messaging me like maybe this isn't a good idea, and I was like, motherfucker, I am already.
So here's what happened. When you were planning, I really wanted to see you, and I kept telling myself like, I'll quit doing drugs like the week before she gets there, and I'll kick drugs and we'll have a nice
Yeah,
time.
because that's how.
But
things
here's
work.
the thing about addiction and meth, is I could not stop using. So, I'm glad you came to see me, but I wish I would have been like, hey, I'm fucked out of I'm in outer space right now.
Yeah.
I have no clue what's going on. Don't come see
basically,
me.
The whole trip, he tried to hide that he was on copious amounts of
Your Honor, methamphetamines. Your Honor, the defendant was on methamphetamines.
Yes, he was on
yeah.
meth the entire trip.
Like a bunch.
How long was I there? Like 4 days?
I don't remember.
It was a short trip.
It was a short visit. I was so happy to see you. I remember, this is one of my favorite stories to tell. When I got sober and made amends to you, Before I could even say anything, you were like, well, because I wanted to make amends for that specifically, and like a bunch of other, the lying and all the disappearing and all that shit. But I want to make amends for that trip because you went out of your way and you got a nice hotel. And I was so afraid to go outside. We just stayed in a hotel for 4 days. I wouldn't let her get off the frontage roads because I was so afraid to be in traffic.
Yeah, you were terrified when we were in the car.
So like we could just be on the highway, but we're just like stop signs.
And you kept making up all these excuses about being in an accident and being scared.
So I had been in an accident.
Yeah.
And I was just coming off my meds, but it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And I'm an excellent driver.
You're all right. Better than me. Anyways, so when I went to make amends to you, you were like, well, I knew you were high that whole time. And I was like, how did you know? And you said, your mouth tasted like metal and you wouldn't stop masturbating. And I was like, that gave it away, did it? Did that give it away? And if you don't know a lot about meth, you will so meth was invented by like World War I, World War II for soldiers and stuff, you know what I mean? And I like the idea of a World War II soldier being like, yeah, totally the mission, but I'm just going to go like I'm going to go around, I'm just going to go jack off for a bit because like I can't take it anymore. Because it just makes, that's what you do on meth. It's one of the things you do on meth.
And it's hilarious to me that you thought you were being sneaky.
So I didn't think I was being sneaky, but when you make an amends, you have to cover everything.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
I did not, but
You for sure thought you were being sneaky though.
I'll be in the bathroom for a bit.
Yeah, like I was like, this is hilarious. Like, well, and it was like I was on this weird, like, I remember thinking that whole trip, I'm like, he's gonna die. This is probably the last time I'm gonna see him.
This is really sad. This is what the podcast is really about.
Yeah, like that. I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, he is gonna kill himself, and he's in it too bad, you know? So I was like, I could make this trip about that, and I could, you know, make it all crazy, or we could just have a good time together, you know, which is where my head was.
Instead, we did neither.
Yeah, we really didn't either. I think we had an okay time together.
We had a great time. I had a blast.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, well, of course you did. But I really the whole way back too, I cried the whole way home because I was like, that's it.
When you left the hotel,
he's done. Like, he's going to die. He's going to kill himself doing drugs. Like, that's it.
When you left the hotel, I was like, well, I fucked that up. I'm never going to see her again. And you were so worried I was going to trash the hotel, which I did not.
I was so worried that you were going to trash
when
the
you were
hotel.
leaving, you like kissed me goodbye and you were like, don't fuck this place up. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, you have to leave.
What do you mean? What are you basing I'm going to wreck the hotel on?
I was waiting. I was sitting in my house waiting for a phone call from the hotel and being like, we cannot get this person to leave. This is on your credit card. I was like, that's what's going to happen.
There's a guy in your hotel room. His mouth tastes like metal and he won't stop jacking off. Is that somebody you know?
Well, and it's like,
is that somebody?
We were such good friends at the time that I was like, I loved you very much as a friend and as a person. I cared about you, you know, but I was like, I got to get away from this kid. Yeah. He's going to murder him.
And I felt the same way in reverse. I was like, I really love her, but she should get away from me.
Yeah.
And get away from me, she did.
I did.
One day I was like, straight to voicemail. Can't find her on Facebook. She's not on Instagram anymore. Weird.
That's what happened. So you called me, and you probably do not remember this phone call. I don't imagine that you
but
do.
You've reminded me of it plenty. So
yes.
I have a memory of it now.
Listeners need to know. He called me and was so fucked up out of his mind. And he hadn't I messaged him 100 times. I was so worried about him. I didn't know where he was, didn't know what was going on. And just as a friend, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, he's done. Like, I'm not going to hear from him again. He's dead. And then I talked to him. He's so fucked up. And he keeps telling me that your eyes were messed up, which they were. Like, you had that problem with your eyes. And that you didn't text me or call me because you couldn't see your phone because your eyes were
Your Honor, that is a partial truth.
I was like,
that was a partial truth, Your Honor.
You've been posting Instagram stories and you've been liking stuff on social media.
I do not, Your Honor, I do not recall that part.
So
Your Honor,
I was like, you can like this big tittied bitch on fucking Instagram, but you can't fucking text me. Okay. And then I was like, all right, Manny, you're playing yourself at this point.
Did you know what I like? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because all your shit's public. But I remember.
Is that true?
I remember having like this come to Jesus moment with myself where I was like, you're playing yourself at this point, so you need to nip this. So I blocked you on everything.
Yeah. I do recall. Yes, Your Honor, I recall that moment.
Yeah, I blocked you on absolutely everything. And I was like, that's it. We're done. And I had a good cry and I was like, all right, we're moving on now. That's it.
Yeah, when we
I can't win over drugs. There's no winning over drugs. They always win.
no, they don't. They don't always win.
I mean, if you have an addiction,
They're not winning today.
Yeah, but that's up to you. That's not up to me.
It's up to God, damn it. When you told me that though, I was like, holy shit. I was like, why didn't you say anything? And you're like, oh, because I thought you were gonna be dead soon. And I was like, what am I gonna yell at him before he dies?
Yeah. What am I going to
I
make
was like,
your,
holy shit.
you know, I've wanted to just shower you with love. So even if, you know, like things, whatever, you would feel bad. You would feel
Yeah.
guilty.
Okay. She's still a woman. Guilt trip him.
I was like, well, I mean, honestly, like we weren't even together at the time, so it didn't really matter, you know.
No, we were not. No, we are now though.
Well, yeah.
And when I got sober the first time, I was in a hotel. I had no money left. I had nowhere to go. Everything I owned was in my car. I had a 2005 Honda Civic with no air conditioning. It is end of August in Texas, so it's like 110 degrees up. And I drive from this hotel, and I don't know where to go. I don't fucking know what to do. And I drove to that hotel where we stayed at.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll try to get a room here. I don't know why I was trying to get a room in a different hotel. I was trying to find my sister's house, but I was like, I don't actually know where she lives, and she's not answering her phone. So the only thing I could think of was that hotel. And when I got there, I called you. I was honestly going to ask you if I could borrow some money. You didn't answer. And
Oh, that's so funny. I would have never given you
I know,
any money.
dude, I was so done. I was over. Like it was over for me.
Never giving you money.
I was dying. I was on 35, tailgating a semi because I thought no one would be able to see me. I had sunglasses on, but one of the lenses was busted out. And like I didn't have a great time on meth that night. I was just so depressed and it wasn't working anymore. But when I woke up in the morning, when I got outside in the heat, my sinuses cleared up and it was like, and it like came on, and I'm tailgating the semi because no one could see me.
Right. Because you're
If I did that, because everyone knows if you drive behind a semi, dude, it was so hot. I had the sunroof open, windows down, and I mean, it's just so fucking
in
hot.
Texas.
In Texas. So like I'm
miserable.
dehydrated. I got a half gram right in here that's finally showing up. And I'm like, where was that last night? Hello. And I pull into a spot at that fucking hotel where we were at, and I was smoking cigs for some reason. I don't know. I was just at the end. I was like, no, I don't. If you smoke cigs, whatever, but I didn't. So the fact that I was smoking cigs, I was like, I don't care anymore. And I remember just sitting in my car and like looking that I had no money. I was trying to overdraft my credit card, but I was like, I can't walk into this. It was a decent hotel.
And it should be said that you had plenty of money.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to be said. Nobody needs to know that. My family's gonna watch this, man. What are you doing? No, I did go through a lot of money. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. I blew my inheritance. But it helped get me sober, so I look at it as a win. And if you got a problem with that, then you don't actually care about me, and I don't give a. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about you. I'm yelling at my family that's probably not actually watching this. Fuck you, aunts and uncles. Not really. I love them. But anyways, why'd you gotta bring that up? No. So I'm sitting in my car and I'm defeated, and like out of the corner of my eye, I see a cop. But like the thing about meth and being paranoid is like a lot of the times you think there's a cop out of the corner of your eye, but this time it was for real. And he was like, "What's going on, dude?" And I'm like, "What? Nothing. What do you mean? Why are you singling me out, dude?"
Right, because you always think you're sitting still.
Yeah, even now I think I am. But I'm not. And I am sober. It's just hard to convince people. Dude, if I get sweaty, I'm like, no one's going to believe I'm sober. Get a nosebleed in public, it's over. It's over for me. And they were like, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to go to jail in Texas. Like, God damn it. Like, it's over. And they were just really concerned about me. And I was like, tell you what, I was like, I did a half gram last night. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, you can search my whole vehicle. There's nothing in here. And they're okay, if we don't find anything, like, you're good to go. And they didn't find anything. And they were like, your options are jail, hospital, or we can call your sister. And I was like, none of those sound good. My sister's going to be real mad. I hate jail. And the hospital, I'll just go insane. So my sister came and picked me up, and everything worked out. But when I got to, so from there I went to rehab, sober living, blah, blah, blah. When I got my car to sober living and I was getting all my shit out of it, because like nobody touched it. They just left it in that parking lot.
Right.
I got it back in the condition I left it in. When I put my trunk, there's like a needle in it. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how they didn't find that. But like, it's just so crazy. But anyways, the point of this story is I loved you so much that when I was in complete psychosis and dehydrated, I thought enough to go to our hotel where we spent 4 days together. And I
Right.
thought of you enough to ask you for $200.
Aw. You're so romantic.
I know it. I know it.
Ladies,
and that's the
see,
fucking-
ladies.
That's the
they
short
say
version of that
chivalry's
story.
dead.
That's the short version.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so cut to separate. In my mind, I know like, man,
How long was that before we talked again? Though?
well, if you didn't just interrupt me. So Mandy and I didn't talk for probably 7 months, and I knew I was never going to talk to her. She told me like, when we're done, like we're done.
Yeah,
We're done.
yeah. I've always had that. Whenever I break up with somebody, I fucking break up with them. I don't go back. Damn it.
And I'm the world's greatest.
I was literally like, because I was catching feelings.
Yeah.
Because I was just friends with you, and then when I started catching feelings, I was like, oh no, not this guy. No way.
It was
He's
incredibly
nuts.
so. It was incredibly organic because I felt the same way. I was like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't like her. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, I was like, he's
My
not
friends,
the guy.
That's my friend.
I remember thinking that distinctly. I'm like, he's not the guy. No
He's not,
way.
no.
No way. Like,
I can't
absolutely
possibly have feelings for my friend's lesbian ex-wife. What?
not. I was like, he masturbated for 4 days.
We made some sweet love in there too. There's some love making.
Oh, it's funny. I just remember being like, "Oh fuck, this is." When I had blocked you the first time, that was me being like, "All right, that's it. We can't. Like,
Yeah.
I can't get involved with this dude. Like, I have too much shit going on that's like good, for you to come in and just ruin everything." Which is what makes
I've heard
you.
that.
No,
I've heard that a lot. Just a fucking ruiner, man.
just fucking ruin shit. Fucking ruin it.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
I went to sober living. I
Mm-hmm.
just focused on being sober. I got a job, and just like life started to get good. And I was like so dead set of like no relationships, no nothing. Like let's just get this thing right. Nothing else matters with this, and that's what I focused on. And then somewhere around I think I'd been sober about 7 months. I saw your face on Facebook Messenger, like people's little circle faces, you know what I mean? Everybody know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw yours for like a second. And I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. She's had me blocked. And I remember going to it and I was going to say something. I was like, no. You hurt her really bad. Let's just not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from your perspective, you started seeing my name on comedy flyers.
I knew a few comics in Austin, and I started following some Austin pages, and I kept seeing your name on comedy posters. And I was like, if he's doing comedy, then maybe he's got his shit together a little bit.
Yeah.
That we could be friends again. And it had been so much time that I was like,
And it was
Done
COVID this
with
whole time, so
yeah.
nobody's thriving, you know what I mean?
No, and it was like we would talk for like hours over COVID when you were like in between.
Somewhat coherent.
Yeah,
Between benders?
and we'd have so much fun, and I like we got to know each other through that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well maybe he's not. If he's doing comedy, he can't be crazy fucked up. Like, and I know now that that's not true, but I mean, I didn't.
What do you
know.
mean that's not true?
No, I'm just saying, like you've told me that you've used while you were doing comedy.
Years ago.
Right.
When I was doing heroin, I would never do meth and leave the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, if he's out in
Yeah.
public and doing things, then maybe you
Yeah.
know. And my brain, it was so much enough time that my heart was like not in it anymore.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'll give him a.
Unless I had like a weird act where I was like high and like jerked off on stage. That's like this weird avant-garde comedy act.
Like Andy Kaufman fucking bullshit.
He's either sober and doing comedy or he's found a way to profit off it.
He's not getting laughs, but
Yeah.
it's like a whole different thing. That
He's a
doing.
very jazz comedian. It's the
Yeah.
jokes he doesn't tell.
It's like the space between.
It's the space between. It's the punchlines you don't hear that makes him great.
Yeah.
I would compare him to an Andy Warhol, I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Before his
sounds,
time.
yeah.
It's not really stand.
No, but I was just doing comedy. And
Yeah.
we slowly started talking. I remember one of the first things I said to you was like, oh, I can't believe you unblocked me. And you said, well, I can take it back real quick.
I can block you
I
again.
was like, whoa. And we talked. It was so gradual. I was so afraid that I was like, just
It
do not
was
become
so
obsessed with her again.
gradual.
Because I can become obsessed with you and disappear. So I was like, can you just, whatever you think normal is, dude, try to do it.
Yeah.
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 And it worked out great.
Yeah, I was pretty close to normal.
And then you were in Wyoming with some fellas and some stuff happened and they went to jail and you were by yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, perfect.
And I kept getting
She's alone.
Well, I kept getting spam.
You had made a mistake we all make, which is where you sign up for insurance somewhere and then 900,000 people get your phone number.
I signed up for the open enrollment free healthcare or whatever, some Obamacare.
Oh, yeah.
And I was getting so many phone calls that I started answering them and telling people to fuck off and stop calling me. And you were one of those phone calls because I'd already taken your name.
I want to tell you. Yeah, so I know we'd had our problems, but I called you and you answered the phone. This is Mandy. And I was like, damn. You ain't even... I saved the numbers of people I don't want to talk to.
Well, and that's how I was answering those phone calls. Because I'm like, you got the person you're trying to call and you need to stop fucking calling me. Every time I would be like, this is Mandy. Like, what do you want? You know?
Like, this is Ian. And we talked on the phone while I was on break at work for like maybe an hour.
Yeah. Well, because I was by myself in Wyoming.
No, I
because
knew.
those jackasses got arrested. And I was waiting for them to get out of
I actually
jail.
called in an anonymous tip so that they would get
Well,
arrested.
I say jackasses. They're my friends.
Yeah. Well, you
still
can
my
you can be a jackass for a moment, you know?
Oh, I have a lot of friends that are jackasses for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were in jail and I had to be in Wyoming for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working at Preferred and I had to call my manager and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be at work today. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, I'm not in jail. She's like, what? I was like, no, seriously, I'm not in jail, but there are people in jail and I don't want to leave them here. I don't want to leave them stranded because I'm not a bad friend. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you called and I had so much time on my hands. I
got in there, man.
Yeah. I remember, weren't you on break at work or
I was on break at work and we talked for an hour and I was just chatting with you. And this speaks to how big of a piece of shit I was. But you noticed that I was listening.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer.
I remember being like floored that you were like responding to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like you weren't just ready to talk. Like you were actually listening to me. And I was like, who is this guy? Like this is a totally different guy. Like usually when we had hung out before, it was more I was like intrigued by you because you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts, and I just wanted to see the next thing you were gonna say. You were more of like this entertainment person. Like, cause I mean, you weren't someone that like I would tell my feelings to, and like we would write.
I was just
sketches
such an asshole. I was just such an asshole. I would be like, "How was your day, Mandy?"
Yeah.
And I answer it. That's exactly what I did.
Oh, my day was.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
yeah.
great.
I would purposely interrupt you as like a joke.
Yeah.
And I literally said to you over and over, like, I'm going to hurt you and ruin your fucking life. Like, I was like, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah, and I was always
And then
like,
I did.
and I was always like, that's hilarious that you think you can do that to me. You can't do that to me. And then you did, and I was like, fuck.
Can you put the devil emoji right here on my shirt? You know the one I'm talking about, like the purple one on the iPhone? Am I doing it?
Yeah, well, you using and you not using are you're two completely different people.
I know, and I wish it weren't that way.
But it is.
But it is. I
It
wish.
is.
Yeah.
You are two completely different people, like, and on all levels, on all cylinders.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid you try to use meth successfully for 4 years, you know?
Right.
I thought I could pull it off, but
everyone does recreational meth.
everyone shoots meth like a gentleman on the weekends.
Yeah.
Just a glass of meth with dinner.
Just a
You
glass.
can have a glass of meth with dinner, right? Glass of meth with dinner. Like,
Yeah.
I won't need the
A
dinner.
little meth for the table. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys like meth,
Yeah.
right? Is that not normal? Okay.
Yeah, meth is like a drug you can't use. Like I feel like some people can go on cocaine benders or whatever, and they turn back to who
people
they
can
are.
do it. There are.
I really think it changes your brain chemistry, though. Like,
Yeah, that is true, Your Honor. It's like getting hit in the head with a brick.
yeah, like,
Mr. Senator. Sorry.
I've been surrounded my whole life with alcoholism, so I truly understand alcoholism, but meth addiction was like that was a whole different. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
No. And there's nothing to get.
No, for
It
sure.
it's just, anyways, where were we?
Where were we? Yeah, so we started talking again. We talked that.
We did, and it was
one
great.
time.
And we took it really, really slow. And I was like,
Really
I don't want
slow.
to be a year sober before anything real happens.
Yeah.
You know? Here's a picture of my dick or whatever. I sent you a video.
You're really telling it, huh?
I don't give it. I did not go all through all this shit to not turn it into entertainment value. I'm so tired of people pretending to be interesting, or I'm sober. Well, no, you're not. You don't fucking have a clue.
Yeah.
You don't have a
Yeah.
clue the horrors of addictions. You're like,
yeah.
I'm sober now. No, you're not. Shut up. Your life doesn't depend on it. Leave me alone.
I mean, I'm sure like people who cut back on drinking or cut back on whatever.
Whatever you're doing,
like,
I love it, but stay off my fucking turf.
Yeah, like
Don't play pretend.
There's
Don't-
legit people who are addicted that
Yeah. Anyways, a better way to say this is I'm not embarrassed of my past. At all.
Right.
But I sent you a video of me busting a nut. Do you like that? Because you like that shit?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, girls, gentlemen, if you're watching, girls love loads, dude. Especially if you're a fucking rope thrower like I am.
Oh my god, we love it.
It's like a bird
It's
puking.
amazing. It's like a ticker tape parade. We're like,
Oh, they love it. They
yeah,
want-
it's so fun. Just
yeah.
put our hands up. Yeah.
I was in sober living when I did it, and sober living, you're living with 10 guys, so you have to be careful in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I had peed in the toilet.
There's literally pee in the toilet. And he sends this to me like I'm supposed to be like, ooh, Romeo.
Because I was in sober living. You can't double flush. People be like,
I
what's
can
happening
literally
there?
hear the shower.
I had the shower on. Yeah, because I've been sober living. There's 9 guys who use
Yeah.
that bathroom.
Yeah.
If they hear a double flush, dude, oh my God.
God, this makes me seem really like I make smart
I think it
decisions.
speaks to how much we love each other.
We
dude.
do love each other.
It's like, do you want to see me come onto my piss?
Yeah.
I'm sober now.
I remember we were probably together for like maybe like a year in, and I remember
Yeah.
being like, why did you send me that?
I wanted you to like me. It's like when a dog brings a dead fish to you. They don't know it's bad. They just want you to like them. Yeah.
Puts a dead mouse on your door.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard you liked this.
Yeah. Instead of like a dead mouse, you're like, here's some
Here's some. At least
pee in a toilet.
here's what it isn't.
Cum
Poop.
shot.
It's not poop.
Not poop.
just gonna come on my piss and then shower and be like,
Yeah, you did send me that.
yeah. I don't remember
thing
why I
like-
told that. I don't remember why I told that. I remember the first time I sent you a picture of my dick, you texted me, "Oh God, Ian," and I didn't know what in context you were saying that.
Right.
You could have been like, "Oh God, Ian."
Well, because I had to be a little bit careful with you.
Yeah.
Because you would if I gave you a compliment, your ego was so high that you would just I felt like I was inflating you a little bit, and I didn't want to do that.
You might be right. That could be true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I need to check this kid because he ain't.
As you sent me a picture of your boobs from the top.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sent me a
We don't have
picture.
to talk about all this
You
stuff.
sent me a picture of your boobs in a bra from the top, and I was like, "Well, I only have one card to play. I don't have muscles. I don't have
Yeah.
a 6-pack
Well, I mean, we were long distance for a long.
for a very long time, and it served
Very
us so
long time.
well. We talked over the phone for hours when we could, and I was still in sober living, so like time was just
Yeah.
limited and blah blah blah. Where are we at? I feel like that might be a great stopping point
think
for the
so?
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
There's a lot more.
so much more.
We're scratching
We could
the
split it up
surface.
into 2. What's a great cliffhanger? There isn't one.
No, there's not.
But we
I
are
mean,
cruising though,
this
right?
was-
We do
this
have
was-
momentum. We are cruising. We're cruising. We're cruising.
We're still long distance at this point in the story too. Like,
Yeah.
we don't even live near each
Oh, is
other.
it will they or won't they?
Yeah, it was a
took-
very critical part of our.
You know what? Our
Story.
relationship is pretty gross because I remember I told you, because we were still talking as friends, and I've been sober a little while. We were talking as friends, and I was like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that when I was in rehab, I thought about you when I jacked off in the shower."
Yeah.
And I sent that to you while you were asleep, and the next morning you said, "I love you, cute boy." And Mandy called me cute boy when she liked me. I'm cute
Yeah.
boy. Not so much anymore.
he
We're
was-
married.
and he was Ian.
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he was pissing me
Yeah.
off.
So I was like, "Hey, just so you know, when I was in rehab, I thought about your throat while I was in the shower," and you were like, "I love you too, cute boy." I was like, "That's not what I said," but that's a real thing. We can go through our texts and find. That's a legit moment.
Yeah,
Um,
I was very flattered.
yeah,
And
and
women that
that
say they're
really
not, they
happened.
are.
That really happened because I was like, "Fuck, I fucked that up." Because you were so sweet and so nice to me.
Yeah.
And
That's my
you had
thing,
great
too, though.
you had great taste in candies. You turned me on to so many different
Yeah, candy's my thing.
candies. Your thing, and I
Yeah.
was just like, man, brownie M&Ms.
They
I
had
didn't know.
the new they were like strawberry or something Kit Kats that were out that I was really into at the time.
You were really so Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, Sour Patch. I had a really big Sour Patch phase.
I'm burping like you.
Oh, I could not stop with Sour Patch Kids.
We both ate so many Sour Patch Kids over COVID. It was insane.
It was Sour Patch Kids and it was a
was
brownie
doing-
M&M.
I was doing nothing but stuff to ruin my mouth and teeth over COVID. I was doing meth and eating Sour Patch Kids.
I was the most healthy I'd ever been.
You were, and you
was-
hate when I say it.
I was, because because you don't like the way you say it. You're
Your
like,
body
oh,
was
your body was
ridiculous
ridiculous.
when you came to
was,
see
dude.
me.
I can't.
It was.
I was in the best physical shape of my life,
But you were miserable.
Mentally, I was fucked.
And it showed by the kind of guys you were dating. That's how I knew. I was like, she's into me?
But I was running like 5 miles a day, and
You were. And that was so attractive to
Yeah.
me because when I was like jammed up in hotels and stuff,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm sorry that I did this again. And you're like, oh, I meditated about it. I talked to God and knew that it was nothing I could
still
do to
do those
save you. I
things,
ran
but-
for 5 miles.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Because I couldn't. I
It was attractive to me because I was very, very sick.
Yeah.
So anything healthy was just like, I didn't even think I was capable of.
I do. If I didn't have a job right now, if I didn't have to have a job, I could get back to that. But I think that like taking care of yourself physically like that is a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
full-time. It really is.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I mean, it was
I focus on here.
hard to
Here.
keep up with.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right being a hot skinny girl, and it's all right being a hot big girl. I'll be either. You know, it's easier. It's more fun to be a big girl.
I don't know what to say to this. I love
It's just
you.
easier. Not
I did
to-
fall in love with your brain above all else, though.
Yeah, we fell in love with each other over the phone for
Yeah.
sure. I think that's what happened.
We didn't rush it. Well, we did, and then didn't, and then did again. We kind of rushed it, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You moved
more.
in pretty quick.
There's a few more layers.
There's so much more. we're like a ways away from the happily ever after.
Yeah, we're still pretty miserable at this point. We're loving each other, but we're kind of like not.
When she
trusting.
says at this point, she means in the story, not
yeah,
right here. Like we came in the same car.
yeah. I mean, we're married and we love each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
now. Everything ends really, really great. But
The end is great.
yeah, at this
The
point,
to be continued.
when we first started talking, it was
Yeah.
back after.
Yeah.
When I feel like this was.
I didn't realize
like,
how gross I was till we told all this.
yeah. This was like when you were like your first run at sobriety, where you like had a good chunk of time.
I had a good chunk of time, and then I celebrated a year, and then your room flooded with feces and excrement, and I was like, "Hey, mama,
Yeah, that's a fun story.
hey, mama, I have a studio apartment here in Austin that is covered in poop from somebody else, but it's a real good deal." And you were like, "Okay, let me see if I can get out of my lease and move out there." And
Do you want to do the second part? Because this is a good second part. The move.
do you want to talk about the move?
If you want to take a break. How long have we been talking? 45. Oh, cool. Okay. You want to do another 15?
Yeah, we can.
Let's get into this. So I rented a room in Westminster
Yeah,
with,
or Westminster if you can't read.
but
People say that. Live over in Westminster. What?
yeah. So I was living with, I call them the poly kids because they were poly kids. I was living with the poly kids, and then I moved to Westminster.
They were all birds that could talk.
Yeah.
The Polycats. They were all birds that could talk. She
They
lived
were
with,
all parrots.
I don't know why she's glossing over it. She lived with talking birds. It was crazy. Nobody had rent.
They were a poly queer kink couple
Yeah.
that were the best roommates I've ever had in my whole life. They paid their rent. They were very respectful. Nothing bad to say about either one of them. They were awesome.
Wait, those guys?
Yeah, I liked living there with them.
They were poly?
Yeah. Yeah. So I found out that they were poly, and I knew they were
Wait,
poly.
those two guys?
No.
Finch?
No, this was way before. You never met the
No, but this when you moved in, you were living with those guys.
No, I moved out for the poly kids and moved into the
Okay.
Westminster house. And the reason that I found out because they would write date night on the calendar. And I was like, oh, cool, they're having a date night. But date night on the calendar meant they were having dates with other people.
Yeah.
So I was like,
The house just smelled like
it
stank.
took me way longer than it should have to realize what was going on.
You didn't get it right away?
And she was she's really popular in the kink community. So she would teach her specialty was needles. So she would teach classes.
Your Honor, my specialty was also needles. Not as kinky.
She was teaching a class one time online in the kitchen, and I had just gone grocery shopping, so I'm like putting my groceries away.
Wait, what do you use needles for sexually?
She was talking about it. She was talking about threading.
Don't you talk about my pee hole.
No, she was talking about threading, how you thread someone's back with, and she was talking about like the thickness of the needle that you needed.
Goodness.
And like I didn't realize in the poly community, like when you're gonna have a interaction with somebody, like they have like spreadsheets that are like yes, no, I'll do this, I won't do this, I won't do that. And you'd like have to agree on all the stuff.
Interesting.
So she would teach the classes on like when you're first gonna start this stuff, like it's good to have like a emergency contact, and like if you bleed too much,
Mom, Mom, can you come get me? He put a pineapple in my butt. I thought I could take it. Because your emergency contact's almost always your mom, dude.
Yeah,
Who's coming to get you?
my mom would be like, take that pineapple out of your butt.
Oh, honey, I'm having fun.
Yeah, it was like the first time I was really introduced to that community, and I'm such a vanilla fucking starfish. I got nothing going on.
There is nothing wrong with regular sex.
Yeah, it's just regular time.
I do think that checklist is real. We should all have one.
Oh yeah, like
We
it
should
was,
all
it was
have one.
fascinating to
Yeah.
learn, and like she was always really open and like would answer all my questions.
Do you have a copy of it?
I mean, I could probably message her and she would
Yeah.
send it to me for sure. But
Yeah, give her the wrong idea.
She was like the first. They were just a really cool couple, and
Yeah.
and I mean, they did have one of those. What are those things where you put like medical instruments in it to sanitize them? They had one of those, but it was for sex toys. So it was always like. I would literally walk into the kitchen and there would be like chains and handcuffs and shit on the.
Just put your empty bowl in the dishwasher in between two dildos.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't wash their sex toys in the dishwasher because that's not good for them. It's like the poorest thing that's not like good for the sex toys. I learned so much, honestly. Like, and they were great roommates. They paid their rent on time. They were like,
Well, when you're going 12 on a lease,
they were awesome.
it's easier.
And like she would talk to me about like the scarification stuff and like, yeah, they were. I don't know. They were pretty good roommates.
I wonder how you get to that, dude.
I don't know.
How do you figure that
Like,
out? You know,
I just like to come. You know, that's
regular's
it.
fine.
And then I'm done, and then I go to bed.
Yeah, regular's fine. Let me get in the front
Yeah,
potato.
I know everybody's like wants to make it all complicated, but
I think that's great, but I just couldn't.
yeah.
I don't want to involve.
I
Pain is not part of my process.
am not good with like talking and communicating. Like I just want to like have sex.
I
You know?
I know.
Like I don't want to. I don't
Will
want
you
to be
just
like
real quick? Will you call me daddy?
Dee Dee.
See, it's so bad. It's so bad. She called me daddy once. I was like, oh my god. My
because
dick packed its
The only
bags.
reason I called you that is because you called me baby.
I said,
girl.
what up? I said, what up, baby girl?
I was like, hey, Dee Dee.
I was like, oh, that's the least attractive way anyone has ever said daddy.
Well, because from the South, I've called you like sweetheart, baby, honey, cute boy. Like I call him all kinds of stuff. And Ian is not good at nicknames. Ian will be like, oh yeah, you're great, Mandy. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Because you call me cute boy, and I was like, damn, that's good. I don't know what to call you.
Oh,
I
I
tried
called you
big
cute
old
boy
butt
forever.
lady.
Big old butt lady.
Nobody
You called
liked
me
that.
for a while.
I said that on stage, and everyone was like, oh, that's your wife, dude. What are you doing? I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's funny that
Mandolin, I found.
mandolin.
She likes mandolin.
I do. And I don't like the other one.
Manders.
I don't like manders.
Manders.
I don't like manders. It sounds like I'm sitting in the corner drinking milk. I don't know how to like it. I just don't like it.
I would like.
Like, oh, there's manders over there drinking milk. I'm like, oh, manders.
I would like to meet Manders.
I hate manders. I just hate
in
it.
the corner. Yeah, she just brings her own milk
Fucking drinks
everywhere.
milk, dude. She like eats cheese and shit. Like I don't like manders. I just think
She's
manders.
lactose intolerant and she just loves milk.
I think manders is gross. I don't know.
Guys,
It just sounds like something you feed
Mandolin
cows.
worked, though.
Did the cows eat their manders today? I don't know. I like it. I don't. I just
hey,
like,
can you take Manders out to the field?
Yeah,
Cows need to
had
eat.
a lot of. It was funny. One of my bosses in Raleigh used to call me Mandingo, and I was like, "You should Google that.
Why don't you look up what Mandingo is?
Why don't you Google that?" And then he stopped calling me that.
I was calling you a slave fighter.
It's like a large black penis or something.
Oh.
Is like the Urban Dictionary term.
thought-
It's not good.
It's
Like,
not okay.
It's
Yeah.
derogatory. It's racist. It's a terrible term. And he would call me that, like, just in the middle of the office. Like, I don't think you know what you're saying.
Hey, what up, big dick Mandy?
Yeah, like maybe don't call
What's
me
up?
that. Maybe don't call me that.
Yeah. Just Mandy's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned to just call you Mandy.
Yeah, I'm not a
Mandolin.
big Amanda.
My
gal,
dear sweet
but
Mandy.
yeah, Dee Dee.
Mandy's Mints.
Mandy's
Raggedy Mandy.
Yeah, I'll take.
I don't call
Raggedy
you any of
Mandy. Yeah, Raggedy Mandy.
Raggedy Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy Christianity.
Yeah. We had a thing about there's a UFC fighter. I can't think of his last. I can't say it. It's Islam something. But I was like, if you have a religion in your name, like you're fucking terrifying. Like if you're like Mandy Christianity, you don't want to fight that
Yeah,
person.
I'd fucking murder you with the Bible.
No, you don't want anything to do with
I'll
that.
fucking school you with scripture.
Marvin Catholicism. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I lived with the Poly kids, and that's when I moved into that Westminster house.
Yeah.
And that was an adventure. I signed a year lease, and I ended
That
up
was
getting
when,
out of the lease.
that's when like the world was opening back up
Yeah.
and we could like say hi to each other and you could
Yeah.
hug a stranger. Don't you miss hugging strangers?
I did like a little tally because over COVID I ran that open mic at Long Tucky.
Yes.
And I was like, there's at least 30 comics that come to this open mic every Thursday. And I hug each of them when they walk in the door and I hug all of them when they leave. So that's like around 60 hugs a week. And that's just one day.
Did you have a hug ledger?
Yeah. I was like, this is crazy. I haven't had human contact, human people touching me. You know, for like almost a year. It was crazy because I had gotten a divorce, you know, so I was super alone. And then you fucking were having shenanigan times. And I was like, all right, well, so I was like super fucking
By
alone.
the way, I love that you call me doing meth and committing crimes shenanigans. That is not.
That's what I've always referred
That
to
is
it.
not. I mean, I've been in courtrooms and there was never. He's wanted for 1 count of goofing around, 2 counts of shenanigans. Previous arrest record includes.
Yeah, well, it's better than calling it anything else.
What's the other thing? What don't you like? You don't like hijinks, or you don't like.
I like hijinks.
You like
I
hijinks. You don't like shenanigans. I don't understand the difference, but
Well, hijinks are fun and
Shenanigans
goofy,
are not.
and hijinks is watching a good episode of Family Matters. You know what I mean? Like that's a hijinks.
watching it or the episode.
Well, it's whatever Urkel does.
Okay.
You know, like that's fun. It's cool. It's cute. It's hijinks. It's Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Thelma and Louise. But shenanigans is all like, all right, you're done. That's it. You're ruining your
Shenanigans
life.
is like Home Alone, or is that hijinks?
That's hijinks.
I just have a tough time that hijinks means like
What's
playful
that?
goofing
What's-
around, and shenanigans is drugs.
Well, yeah. What's that? Shameless. That's shenanigans.
I never watched Shameless.
Well, that's shenanigans. That's a show you watch and you feel dirty on the inside.
Ah.
You watch Home Alone and you feel like that warmth.
Okay.
Like, yeah, maybe
Okay.
he beat up
So-
the bad guys and it was bad, but it was like hijinksy. It was fun. It was
Okay.
like whoop whoop, you know, a little crazy.
The Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges, total hijinks.
Hijinks. Can we?
Hijinks.
I don't know. Would it read in the podcast? I don't mind.
Oh, the Three Stooges.
So we have this sketch idea. Maybe we could film it here. But it's about a guy coming home from work. He worked with the Three Stooges for one day.
one day.
And he comes home from work and he's just like got feathers stuck to his face.
Yeah.
And he's hard.
And his wife's like, how was today? And he's like,
How was today? I will never work with those 3 assholes ever again. You're not even going to believe this. I went over there for breakfast and one of them set hot glue on the table and thought it was syrup. His fucking mouth got stuck together. And another guy heated up a spoon to get his mouth back open. It was, you're not even going to believe.
he drank motor oil.
I don't know how he did it, but one of the guys drank a quart of motor oil, and I was like, should we go to the hospital? And because I suggested that, he poked me in the fucking eyes. So I love the idea of a sketch of the fourth stooge.
A fourth stooge.
Who just really needs a job, and he worked with him
Yeah,
for one
the
day.
rotating stooge that just keeps getting fired. He doesn't understand that, like, you're not supposed to do the job. You're supposed to be a jackass.
yeah, it's just like,
Guys, like, we're gonna be all here all fucking day if you guys don't get serious
Like,
about
we
this
got-
drywall.
like he pushed him off of a ladder, and then just went back to work.
They painted each other's faces with the rollers.
One of them accidentally turned into him with a paint roller, and the other guy lost his fucking mind and made him drink paint. So no, I'm not going back to that
The
job.
straight man in the Three Stooges.
Just
There's never
absolutely-
a straight man.
He started sawing his head with a saw, and I was like, "Why are you guys? We're supposed to be working on a car."
This is how these conversations is how I think that like solidified
Yeah.
us being together because we would just start talking about something.
Yeah.
And we would talk about
I
it
think that's
forever.
a genius sketch idea.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Stooge, but
Yeah.
we've written it. It's just like, how do you film that?
It's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
to film for sure.
That's it. It's such a great idea, though.
But yeah, I feel like that's how our relationship got started was us
Just fucking around, yeah.
yeah, just being like, so what if
So you have improv background training,
Mm-hmm.
so you're really good at going down a rabbit hole, and I'm a crazy person.
he's an absolute
I'm an insane person, so I'm always just kind of like, we do characters at home that are so much fun.
Yeah. I remember one of my first like real improv shows, my mom came to see me and it was the first time she ever saw me perform. And people were coming up to me afterwards and like it was a big deal in Charleston, South Carolina, Theater 99.
Ever heard of it?
The shows are like a really big deal and like they're
Yeah.
fun. And it's just like the local big thing to do.
Yeah.
And people were coming up to me and being like, "Oh man, you're gonna be on SNL, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever." And my mom comes up to me and she was like, "I don't get it. It's like how you talk all the time." She's like, "It was like you were in the kitchen." And I was like,
It's funny that your mom, I like your mom because she loves you so much, but
Loves
she
me.
doesn't understand comedy
she
at all.
doesn't get comedy.
She doesn't understand it.
She absolutely hates stand up.
Yeah.
She loves me and she loves my stand up, but she hates stand up comedy. She hates stand up comedians.
Yeah.
She loves improv.
She
like-
only likes Christmas music.
Yeah.
And children. She's, I don't know.
She loves improv. She likes the experience of improv.
Yeah.
Like, because she's like, oh, they don't know what they're going to do. And I like to be on the ride. But with a stand up, she's like, oh, they think they know what they're fucking talking about. Those fucking idiots.
She doesn't get hijinks.
No. She will not tolerate shenanigans.
I
so.
sat next to your mom at the Idiot Box in North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
while you performed, and I was just like keeping an eye on her the whole time.
Yeah. And she loves it.
She had a great time. She actually
Yeah.
did better than I thought.
Oh, my mom.
You were
loves
talking
it.
about your butt and me
Oh,
and
yeah.
all this stuff, and I'm just sitting next to her in the audience.
Oh yeah, I did my butt stuff joke. Yeah. And like I can talk to my mom about anything, but she's honest with me.
She's
Like she's honest with me in the way that it's her honesty. Like I can't do any wrong.
no, damn.
Yeah. But she does hate stand up. Like she hates it.
She doesn't get it. I don't think she hates it. I don't think she gets it.
She doesn't like the microphones. She says it's too loud and she doesn't like
She would prefer a nice, quiet sit down.
that's why she likes improv because they don't use microphones.
She can't.
Yeah. And you
I
can-
can't
and you
hear the
project.
damn words.
You project. You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, after that first improv thing, I was like, Mom, I really like this. I think I want to continue like to perform. And
Yeah.
She was like, all right. Doesn't she's
"All
like,
right,
it's just
well."
you being you up there. I don't see anything. It's just you being a weirdo. I was like, yeah, and people like it.
It's just you talking. I don't care. I don't really get it myself.
Yeah, it was very I was expecting her to be like, I mean, I was in improv classes for years. I was expecting her to be like, oh man, that was incredible. Like
Yeah.
everybody else was doing. She always has this, she never has a reaction I think she's going to have. I'm like, wasn't this super cool? And she's like, you know, and I'm like, Mom, I woke up today. And she's like, you're the best at waking up. Oh my God, it's amazing.
I know we said we weren't going to talk about family on this, but no, I guess I won't. Yeah.
I can talk about my mom. She likes it.
So my family's a little dysfunctional, and love is just not spoken about. We know it exists, and then I didn't think there was a such thing as too much love until I went to North Carolina to visit your family for the first time.
Yeah.
And holy shit, you can love something too much.
Yeah. My mom,
Do you sleep in the same bed as your mom and a boy?
yeah, when I go home, I sleep with my nephew and my mom in the same bed.
Is that not?
Sometimes I wake up and
Is that not crazy?
She's holding my hand and staring at me.
Is that not crazy? Mandy's 43, by the way.
I'm 43.
She's not an infant. Mandy's not 10. Mandy and I don't know if you can tell, but we're not children. Mandy's 43 and your mom is 60?
Yeah, she's under 60s. Yeah.
And Zach is
7.
so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
But we watch movies. We watch.
No. I stayed with your
Fine.
family. We went to visit your family and I slept in a bed by myself in a room by myself. When we stayed at my mom's, we slept in the same bed.
Well, yeah, but my nephew. I'd hang out with my nephew. Like, what the fuck? He's amazing.
Anyways, I learned that there's a such thing as too much love.
Yeah, we have a lot of love in our family. And my grandmother was a foster parent for 30 years. So it doesn't matter who you are or it doesn't matter. You come in and you get overly loved.
You get a lot.
Yeah.
God, when I talked to your grandmother for like 2 minutes, she said something really nice to me and I can't remember it.
She's so sweet.
And then she farted really loud
Oh, yeah, she farts a lot.
and then just walked away.
Yeah, it's gangster as fuck.
And I lost the memory. It was such a beautiful moment because we were at your Aunt Shannon's, we were at the pool, and we were like leaving the next day, and we made homemade pizzas, and we swam and played games.
Yeah, and
And
my
it was
mom
just
can
like-
my mom can throw the dough up and catch it. It's
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool.
And your grandma your grandma does whatever she wants. She's like 80.
She's 87.
She's 87, so if she wants to go to bed, she'll go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But she sat next to me on the swing, and she said something to me and like gave me one of these and like got up.
Yeah,
And I fucking don't remember what it was.
my grandma is if
And I can't remember what it was.
if a dog's super hard, my grandma's fucking
Yeah.
hard. She's been a grandma her whole. I think she was born a grandma.
She was born a grandmother.
Yeah, you give that woman a baby and that's it. And
Yeah.
she's just
1
happy
in
as
10
fucking pie.
people in North Carolina are born a grandmother.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
and
just start
everybody's
taking care of
everybody's
people.
a baby. If you ain't married with kids, you a baby.
Yeah, if you're, yep, pretty much.